Alrighty, we're back, baby. So
Yeah.
I'm
What's up?
here. What's up? How are you?
I'm doing good.
That's good.
I'm doing good, sir.
Even
It's been
after,
a crazy few days. Crazy few days.
yeah. I mean, I will get into it, but it's been turbulent. I think even saying it's been turbulent is kind of an understatement for this.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we'll get into it. So in case you don't know, this is Richard returning from the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. I invited him on for this because out of everyone I've ever known recently, within the last how long have we known each other? Like 15, 14 years?
We've known each other all throughout high school, but we didn't really talk to each other in high school, which
Okay.
is the funny part. But we would like see each other.
Okay.
I think
I'll say maybe 15 years then.
yeah.
Is that
But
fair? 15 years?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Like I know
But
how long I know how long I've known Mario. I know how long I've known like Shane and what have you, but with you it's a little bit it's like up in the air with that. But throughout the
I mean,
time that I've known you, you have always been the big Nintendo guy. I mean, even back in the day where my hype for PlayStation was at an all-time high, where like when PlayStation was doing their thing, everybody would like talk shit about Nintendo because Nintendo at that time was off doing the fucking Wii and the Wii U, and it was all of the people were kind of like, "What the hell is this crap?" But as we all know, Nintendo basically roared back to life with the Switch, and now they are at the highest position of power probably in their entire history within the video games industry. I would say definitely they are the most powerful they've been in right now in many years. Which is that something you'd agree with?
I want to say they prepared very well for the future. That's all I can say
Sure. I
because
would agree with that.
I kind of saw this coming even during I guess the PS3 360 and I guess
Mhm.
Wii U era when I heard especially like when I heard around the
Iwata.
time when Iwata was still around
Yeah.
when he stated about like how at some point graphics would be like
It would
I
hit a
guess it wouldn't
ceiling.
make much it wouldn't make a much of a difference anymore
Mhm.
because the I guess like the polygons can only get so much better.
Well, you
Like
can only hit a certain level of realism before it because I was watching a review comparing Journey and Dear Esther, and the reviewer said although Dear Esther had only been out for a few months by the time he went back to capture footage for the review, he said that it already looked worse than he remembered. Whereas Journey, which just focuses on not simplistic isn't the right word, but artistry, raw like art direction and style and color that look the same, and it will not age even in like 20 years. It won't age. Similar to
no.
how Persona games don't really age, considering they are very focused on art style and bold colors and not impressionistic but different art styles and whatnot. So, like you were alluding to, I think Nintendo have done. This is back when I mean, I would argue they still have very smart people at the helm in a number of their departments, but I mean, you can't really beat the the height when it was Iwata
No.
and Miyamoto and even I would say even Reggie,
Yeah,
especially
no, but
now with everything that has happened with the Switch 2. I don't know. I didn't ask you this before. Do you watch? I think it's called Kitten Crystal. They're the
okay,
old PR.
Krista.
Kitten
Yeah, I
Krista. That's
haven't
right.
to be honest, I never really got into them,
Neither have I.
really.
No.
to be honest. Even
I
I don't
oh
even to
good.
this day, I'm still not really that into them.
I've never watched a video from them before until today because they made a video. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. They made a video talking about the fallout from the Switch 2 presentation. I found their perspective to be quite interesting because they initially were in, the PR circles at Nintendo, specifically Nintendo of America. So they were talking about the Switch 2 Direct and the fallout from it from their perspective as people who have been on the inside whenever, because they were there during the Wii U stuff, and they saw, they had a unique perspective as to what goes on when Nintendo faces a problem, a PR problem. So they were talking about it from that angle, and I found their insight to be very interesting. Um, well, in case the video title was a dead giveaway, Richard and I are here to talk about the Switch 2. We're going to be talking about our thoughts on the Direct itself, how we feel a few days, because at the time of recording this, it's been a couple days after the Direct, and we'll talk about
2 days.
the 2 days. We'll talk about the controversies, and we'll get to those. We'll get to the games as well. And then I proposed a question at the end for Richard to consider, and we'll talk about that when the time comes. But for now, I just want to get your thoughts on the Direct itself, not including, prices, physical games, tariffs.
Yeah.
What did you think of the presentation itself? That's what I want to
I,
know.
I mean, let's be real. When we were watching it, there were technical difficulties.
Oh, that's putting it lightly, yeah.
That was a if it weren't for the games, I'm sorry, it would have been a huge disaster.
Dude,
Like, I
I
mean,
honestly feel like um Square Enix and the guy who does Enter the Gungeon and the CDPR for Cyberpunk, I feel like they deserved to get money back from Nintendo because I can imagine these companies probably paid Nintendo to be a part of the Switch 2 presentation. If I was Square Enix, because they were presenting Final Fantasy VII Remake during that enormous lag where the screen just froze for a good, I would say like a good 2 to 3 minutes. Even probably even more than that, because once they restarted it, it went all the way back to Civilization 7, when it's very obvious they were playing things from like Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Cyberpunk 2077. So if I were them, I would ask for my fucking money back, because that is a, of all the times to have technical problems, that is the one time you do not have technical problems.
they really shouldn't have tried in 4K. That's kind of, I feel like that's one of the reasons why.
That was the
Because it's like,
main, yeah, that was the main reason why they did that. Why,
I was like,
why it happened.
why the fuck would you do 4K? I don't think many people in the world right now have 4K TVs. Maybe at
Well,
some point they will,
it's
but
because they wanted to show, hey, our console does 4K now, guys. But then it kind of just blew up in their face with that because of the stream couldn't handle it. I don't know why they didn't just pre-record it and then stream it. I mean, well, they obviously pre-recorded it, but I don't if I don't know the technicalities of how that happened, but I if I were Nintendo in the future, I would seriously test this 4K streaming a lot more often before I would do something like this again, because this cannot happen again. Like
no,
a
it
fuck up
cannot.
of this scale cannot happen again.
No, it cannot. And gosh, I'm glad they didn't show off a new 3D Mario game, especially in that.
Can you
It
imagine if that gigantic freeze happened during Donkey Kong or Kirby Air Riders or something like that?
I mean, didn't it happen during DK? I could have swore it
Well,
still.
there was the delay, the lip syncing delay, but it wasn't the gigantic freeze in the middle, or
Oh,
the second half that was there.
well, yeah, of course,
Yeah.
but still, I still wouldn't want that
No,
to
no,
happen.
no. No one wants that. I mean, that's why I say like the guy, the people who make Enter the Gungeon 2. I mean, I feel like they deserve to have their money back because they got, man, their big moment got absolutely squandered by the technical mess. And I want to make it clear. I think this happened only on the US side because I've seen videos of streamers reacting to the direct and it looks perfectly fine. But then I find out that it's the UK one and I went, "Oh." So I think it was just the US stream that went to shit. I don't know if the Japanese one or the UK one went to shit like the United
Mhm.
States one.
No,
So
yeah.
there's that. But you're regarding to the direct itself, minus the technical issues. What did you make of it?
Well, in terms of the presentation, I feel like they could have at least cut out the voice chat segment. Look, they could have just simply just said the C button is just for voice chat, like to enable it. That's it. Like I don't need them to freaking show off that you can now show yourself in video form while playing a game. Make it look like it's a green screen in the
hmm
background, and then also I guess gosh damn it, and then also just they hyped it up like as if like voice chat's a new
Yes.
thing. And it's like obviously it took they haven't had voice chat in any other consoles. Well,
No.
technically no, they never have.
No, not built
And
into the console. No.
not built into the console. Like with the Switch, like they promoted that you have to use a
The fucking
you have
app.
to
You have to
download the
use the
app and
app.
use the cell phone. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys thinking? I'm like, there's Discord. I'm like, fuck
Yeah.
this. And then now it's like now that they implemented in there, it's like I'm like, where was all of this during the Wii U era? I'm sorry, this should have been implemented even during the Wii U era, at least, but it wasn't there. And them to make a whole section about it, hyping it up, and I'm just like, guys, this isn't new. Like I'm glad you guys added voice chat finally, but I'm sorry, you're kind of a little
Way
you're a
too
little
little, way too late. Yeah.
yeah, too late to
Especially now
this.
they have the nerve to charge for it starting in 2026. I'm
Yes,
like,
starting in
are you
2026.
serious? You're gonna start charging for voice chat in 2026?
Like voice
Like,
chat is
really?
free. It's free
Yeah.
even if you're not paying for like
Like, dude,
PS
come
Plus
on.
or Xbox Live. I'm like, what the
Dude, not even
it
PlayStation. Like, PlayStation are like one of the most nickel and dimey console manufacturers, and their voice chat is free. When you are making PlayStation look economical, that's a huge fuck up on your end. That just makes you look stupid. I mean, that's not the only way that PlayStation looks better compared to Nintendo the Switch 2, but we'll get there. But um I would say if you did not have Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong there, I would say this presentation for me personally would have been a gigantic misfire
yeah,
because
you're not wrong.
I think there are some things in there that are interesting. It's more the third party implications that I think are intriguing. You know what also is really bad about this presentation is that I thought it was a disaster from a communication standpoint.
That too, yes.
I thought Nintendo intentionally, by the way, did a horrible job presenting information to their potential customers. And this more has to do with not including the things that happened after that or the things that were revealed after the presentation, but they didn't have price. They didn't have they didn't have dates for some of these games, which I was very surprised that Metroid Prime 4 didn't have a date. Because
I'm
that was one of my
not that
predictions
true.
that it was going to be a launch title, but I guess it's not, which is crazy to
No, it's
me.
not. That's pretty shocking,
Yeah,
to be honest.
I would have bet money on Metroid Prime 4 being a Switch 2 launch game, but I guess not. But you know what this presentation reminded me of too? It reminded me, you know how I make the comparison from PlayStation to Willy Wonka and like that
Yeah.
whole like the chocolate factory thing where and I've explained this before, but when I say that, I mean like Willy Wonka in the movie. PlayStation and Nintendo are they like to isolate themselves from their fans. They like to just go dark for a long time. They have their obvious, channels of communication, but it's not used anywhere near as much as it used to be, especially compared to like the Wii U days or the even the beginning of the Switch or the PS4 days of the PS3 in PlayStation's case, or the latter half of the PS3, where they were doing fucking bunch of shows each year and talking and doing interviews all the time. Now, because they have this new level of clout, they have this new inertia, they have this popularity the global popularity, the likes of which they've never experienced before. Now they have the sense of the sense of, oh, we don't have to talk, we don't have to say anything. And I think for PlayStation, I obviously have problems with the way they've conducted themselves, but I don't think during the PS5 generation I don't think they've ever had to address a crisis the way, or an extreme blowback the way like Switch has to, or Nintendo has to do now. Because Nintendo, and this is where I talk about Kit and Krista, where they make a really good point in that because Nintendo has never had to experience extreme blowback like this in almost a decade, they are not prepared to properly address the situation. And not only that, they have no one at the forefront to be the public face anymore. They don't have a Reggie. I don't even think what's his name? Bill? Is it Bill Teneman? Bill Tendon? What the hell is his name?
Bill
Trenton.
Brennan,
Yeah.
he's still there. He's still there.
But you
It's
don't
just
see
that
the guy.
no, you don't see him anymore. He's
Yeah.
doing something else now,
Yeah.
I guess, with the company now.
Like,
But he's not like
sure.
you don't see him anymore.
But you don't have a Reggie, you don't have an Iwata, you don't have a Bill Trenton, you don't have even Miyamoto the way he used to come out during the. I mean, Miyamoto still pops up sometimes during the directs, but you don't have him like where they're all starring in the Tomodachi Life directs, all the weirdo shit that happened in that,
That's
or
gross.
or the Muppet thing anymore, or the where Reggie is fighting Iwata when they're doing the Matrix like pa 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 and like fighting and whatnot.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, you don't have things like that anymore. So when a big controversies pop up like this, I don't think internally they are prepared to address them. And the only method they know how is to just ignore it and hope that the public, their hardcore fans, will go to their defense and buy their products anyway. That's been their approach for a long time. Because
Yeah,
whenever something bad happens with Nintendo, whenever they feel like they have to, whenever like they do something that pisses people off, and this is where Nintendo is usually right. Usually their fans will come out and buy the thing anyway. Like
yeah,
they will.
they will.
Like people will get mad at Skyward Sword being $60. Skyward Sword HD was pretty popular. The
Yeah,
one time I can remember Nintendo reversing course on something is when people got mad that Super Mario Maker 2 did not have online multiplayer. That's the one time they have ever come out and said, "Oh shit, yeah, we screwed up. We're gonna add this."
thing that bugs me a lot is that Nintendo fanboys will let them get away.
Mm-hmm.
Like they will defend them,
Yeah.
thinking like they're this friendly company, like they're their best friend, thinking that oh they care about their fans.
Yeah.
Look at what they're making, and I'm like yeah, no, they're a business at the end of the day. They just want to make money.
You
At
definitely
the end of
know
the
it
day.
after Wednesday.
Well,
After that direct.
obviously, to a certain point, I think each company wants to deliver like high quality games, even for people to be entertained. But they are a business still, so they have to make money.
There is I've always said this that I I don't begrudge companies trying to make money. I begrudge companies trying to be a dickhead while making money.
Yes, and these are the
Yeah.
which brings me to what I think you know where what I'm about to say.
We might as well jump into it because this is going to be the thing that, yeah. So let's
Okay,
get into it. There's no way to beat around the bush with this.
okay, but this is where I'm gonna get to it. The people that that defended Nintendo for so long, and the ones that are right now getting pissed off about the prices going up,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them are the same people who would defend them for trying to take down emulation sites.
Yep.
And they would always say stuff like, "Oh, it's their game. They can do whatever they want." Well, guess what? The same thing applies to them increasing the prices for their consoles and
Yeah.
their physical game prices right now. So what now? That literally backfired on them at this point.
Well, and these people
So
too, they have an opportunity to really stick it to Nintendo. They have the opportunity right now. This is like whenever this is the thing that bothers me is that I feel like so many people underestimate the amount of power that they have in regards to causing change within the video game industry. All people, if they really dislike something, all people have to do is just not buy it. Just, it's so simple. Just don't
yeah,
buy it. This is the only language, besides the occasional time where the public blowback will be so fierce that they can't ignore it. Like what's going on with the Tekken Season 2, Tekken 8 Season 2 thing right now, as an example, a recent example.
I haven't been keeping up with that, by the
Oh,
way.
that's a whole nother thing. That's a time where people being loud enough does work. But this is Nintendo we're talking about. They have weathered controversy after controversy after controversy after controversy after controversy for many, many, many years. And every time when people go, "Oh, this is the moment where Nintendo's really gonna lose it," no, they survived the whole Nintendo Creator Program thing. They've survived like locking features behind the amiibo. They've
Yeah,
survived multiple things. They
yes.
will. I would like to be proven wrong, but I just don't have enough faith in the gaming community to where if they really are upset by this, that they're not going to that they're going to hold out long enough to enact actual real change in this case. Now, if there really is this outrage out there that people are claiming is there, I mean, you can go fucking spam in Nintendo Treehouse's chats, drop the price over and over and over and over again, all you want. But the real test is going to be when they show off 3D Mario, when they show the next major Legend of Zelda, when they show off the next Animal Crossing, if they show off another Smash Brothers. If you really are upset by this, don't buy it. Don't buy the Switch 2. Don't buy the next Zelda. Don't buy the next Mario. But
Yeah,
I don't have the faith that they're gonna have the resist that spark within them to actually keep consistent. Like there was that one guy, I forget his name, but I saw this one guy, I think Mario sent it to me, where he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna boycott Nintendo, or it's $450 consoles, $80 physical games. It's ridiculous. I'm boycotting Nintendo." I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Like you're gonna get mad for the first few months, and then you're gonna see that the new Donkey Kong is fucking awesome. You're gonna see that Mario Kart World is amazing, and you're gonna cave.
yeah,
Everybody has that one game. Like let's take it from my example, right? Because I'm throwing shade at everybody else. Let's look at me. I'm not above this. You know, I don't like paying early for early access for video games, but I'm not gonna fucking complain about it because I've been that guy that has paid for early access in very specific situations. When Death Stranding 2 rolls around and they're asking PlayStation's like, "Hey, $10 more, you get to pay it 2 days early." Guess what I'm fucking doing? Spending $10 more to play the latest Kojima game early. I have that game. We all have that game. I like, if you are somebody who is able to resist, you're going on and on and on about drop the price, and you've been consistent throughout the years about Nintendo being shitty, and you refuse to still buy into their products. God bless. You know, that is something I admire. But that is not everybody. And the vast majority of people, and dude, it doesn't even have to be Nintendo. You look at like Call of Duty. Look at fucking Call of Duty. How many fucking people year in year out complain about Call of Duty? They complain about the prices. They complain about the forced multiplayer. They complain about the ridiculously overpriced bundles in Warzone. And yet Call of Duty makes hand over fist money every single fucking year. It's not just them buying the game. It's buying the deluxe version. It's buying the collector's edition. It's buying the fucking skins. It's buying the fucking currency. It's these fucking gamers out there. There's this complete disconnect between what people are raging about and what actually happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes the two things are aligned. Sometimes, like Dragon Age Veilguard last year, which bombed so badly that they had to put it on PlayStation Essential to get more copies into people's hands. That does not always happen. That rarely ever happens, where there is that connection between public blowback and what the financial reality is.
Concord.
Concord, yeah, that's another one. But and I just want to say that, I'm going to be brutally honest, and this is me, like, people can call it like corporate apologia or whatever they want to do. If the Nintendo Switch 2 is re-revealed after a week or so, when they go back to the drawing board and realize what they're going to do after the whole tariffs thing, if they come back and say that, oh, our console costs $500, it's like, I'm still gonna do it. Like, and if they still say, oh, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or sorry, Mario Kart World,
Yeah.
still gonna be $70 digitally, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to get that console because I want it.
I'm probably still going to
Yeah,
be honest.
I like.
If
Look,
it's still
I'll
around
be
the
honest.
$500 range.
I'll be
If it's
honest.
still around
Sure,
the 500.
I'll be honest because I understand people being upset looking at $80 for the physical edition of Mario Kart World, and I understand people being upset looking at the $80 of, I think Tears of the Kingdom is $80. I think Kirby is $80. Super Mario Party Jamboree plus TV is $80. I understand the sticker shock from people who are usually just strictly within Nintendo's orbit regarding these things. But at the same time, these are also the same people that go absolutely gung ho for these like overpriced Joy-Cons that have like the Triforce emblem on it. They buy all these fucking editions of these games that they sell out so fast. They're like $130, $150 editions. And you know what? And I'll just be honest, is like, I I can be persuaded that a game is worth $80. I could be persuaded of that because there are a list of games that I do think, like, yeah, I think $80 absolutely worth it for it. I think Persona 5, both the original and Royal, are absolutely worth $80. You're getting like a curated 100+ hour amazing JRPG experience. Yeah. Yeah. I'll pay $80 for that. Sure. Astrobot. Astrobot is like one of my all-time favorite games. Like, I would pay $80 for that. Even the Switch 2 being like $500, it's like, look, I spent that much for PS5.
That's how much yeah, that's how,
I
and even then,
Yeah,
if you compare it to even like the other handheld PCs
sure.
in the market, it's from what I heard, it's not even that bad.
And then
I
you're
think
also getting like 1080p 60 frames, 1080p 120 frames in some cases with like Metroid Prime 4, which is pretty
you're getting
fucking good for that.
you're getting a good deal with
I
the
I
for you're getting a good deal
I
for
really
it.
I don't begrudge Nintendo making the console $450, or hell, even because I thought at bare minimum it was going to be 500.
I was hoping the console was going to be at least 400, but when they showed 450, I'm like, okay, it's all right. And then I saw 500 for Mario Kart. I was like, but
I think
I thought about it a
that's a
bit
pretty good
more.
deal.
It's that bundle, yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
But they
It's,
but they know that bundle is going to be in demand because of Mario Kart World being 70 digitally and 80 physically.
I think it's 80 both physically and digitally here in the US.
Is it really? I thought it was 70 digitally for
I
I think
I'm
it's
pretty sure
70 digitally and
I,
80
I,
physically.
I think it's 80 for both. Like
Um
I'm pretty sure it's 80 for both.
I don't I don't know about that, but we'll see. I wouldn't put it past Nintendo, but and people will probably listen to this and be mad that I'm saying this, that like I can be persuaded that an $80 that there is such a thing as an $80 game that's absolutely worth it. It's like, look, this is going to like, and again, this sounds like corporate apologia. This $80 shit for games, this is just, it's the way like this is where the wind is blowing all this time. There had to be a company at some point that was going to pull the trigger on this. Because you know damn well if Nintendo wasn't going to do it, fucking Rockstar with GTA 6 was going to do it.
There's still rumors saying
That's,
GTA 6 is going to cost 100. I'm like,
I wouldn't be surprised. I really would not be surprised. Especially with like how fucking expensive it's become to make games, how long they've been working on GTA, how like especially with all these fucking stupid tariffs that are going to come into play, so how that's going to happen. So
oh shit! Imagine GTA 6 costing more than 100.
it well, I physically it might, but digitally I don't think it will. I think digitally it'll probably be like 80 at
imagine
least.
paying 200 physically for GTA 6.
Oh my god.
I would not do that. Fuck no. Fuck no.
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 But
I cannot do that. No.
But at the same time, I can understand what annoys me about this is more the hubris on Nintendo's part. Because, and again, this goes back to the lack of communication during the Switch 2. Because
Yeah.
the Direct. I wonder what would have happened if they had just come out and said our console is going to be $450 and then the Direct will be, or sorry, the Mario Kart bundle will be $500. Because dude, even, and we were there, like people can go back and watch that stream. In the hours following that presentation, we had to scramble to figure out more information. It's not like right after the Direct, Nintendo had this very clear and concise FAQ about everything. We had to go through fucking Nintendo Japan. Then we had to get secondhand info from Jeff Keighley. Then we had to get secondhand info from Wario64. Then we had to check the Nintendo website, see if it updated. Then we had to check then we had to look and see that it said $79.99 on the Mario Kart. We had to try to figure out, is that physically, is that digitally? It was a mess. It was a total disaster from a communication standpoint. They did a horrible job clearly and concisely presenting information.
Yes.
To people that were interested. And I told you this too a couple days ago. That, look, companies almost never do bad news during their presentations. But I think this would have, but this to me rubs me extra wrong because Nintendo are just being so fucking arrogant about it and just being so goddamn, like, they're like all high and mighty about like, look at us, we're Nintendo. We can charge $80 for Mario Kart and you'll fucking buy it, you goddamn scrub. You'll fucking buy it because it's fucking Mario Kart. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yep, you got. I'm sorry, but y'all are still going to.
Dude, Mario Kart World. People are gonna get mad at like $80. Dude, whenever they announce those pre-orders, do you know? Guess which version of the Switch is gonna go fucking fast?
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. Guess which game is gonna get sold out physically in stores? Mario Kart. And then also the thing is too, people are like crying about $80. It's already happening. Like, this has been happening for a long time, where, like, even as of today, if you go to the PlayStation Store, look at the games, go to the pre-order page, look at what games are in the top as far as pre-orders. You have Forza Horizon 5, Premium Edition, $100. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Premium Edition, $100. F-125 Iconic Edition, $90. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Digital Deluxe Edition, $80. Doom the Dark Ages Premium Edition, $100. Forza Horizon 5 Deluxe Edition, $80. And granted, you get, extra stuff with those games. But I could very easily make an argument that, like, hey, with Mario Kart, you get a game that's more than likely going to run really goddamn well on the Switch, too. That's probably going to be great. That's probably going to be feature complete. And it will be a lot of fun. With these other games, I would say maybe, like, Doom, The Dark Ages, Death Stranding 2. Those are probably going to be very good. But then you look at, like, Forza Horizon 5 Premium. It's like, dude, that game has been out for 3 or 4 years. And it's like the number one pre-order on the PlayStation Store at $100.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, like, this is already happening because again, there's this big disconnect between people crying about $80 games, and then people will go. Dude, I know people that will
People
go out
will
and
pay
digitally pre-order
for
a game the moment it gets announced.
they'll pay for that premium
Yes,
edition game.
yes, they
Even if
will.
it's just,
They will
even if
pay
it's
for the
just
promise of content that is good.
yeah, even if it's just a bunch of skins added.
And a lot of these games too, like when the next Call of Duty rolls around that have the premium editions involved, they're going to be like crammed with microtransactions, with with FOMO nonsense. People are going to get pissed off at the controversies that Activision Blizzard is going to throw its way, and yet people still make Call of Duty the highest selling game of each year, except the rare instances where something like a megalithic thing comes out.
And I
So
hear some
what?
fans always complaining, like, "What
Yes.
happened to story?" And I'm like, you guys keep buying this shit, and they keep getting away with it.
Well, it's like, what would you? This is the thing. Like with me, what would you rather buy? Would you rather spend $80 on Mario Kart World, a game like a physical? Again, that's just a physical copy. Digital copy is going to be 70. So let's say you have a choice between a $70 game like Call of Duty, or you have the $80 version of Mario Kart World.
Mhm.
Like which even though Mario Kart World is $10 more physically, I would argue there's more value in I know for certain, I'm very damn sure that I'm going to get a much better experience from that $80 purchase than I would if I spent $70 to buy the latest Call of Duty.
Yeah, you're not wrong about
Dude,
that.
even like Donkey Kong with that coming out with its $70. If that was my only option, yeah, I'd do it. I'd spend $70 on Donkey Kong. That looks fucking awesome. It's like, guys,
Mhm.
I really don't want to hear it that Mario Kart 8 or sorry, Mario Kart World being $80 physically is like this giant world ending thing when we already have many millions of people pre-ordering these fucking stupid premium editions of these games that they haven't even played yet. Like, I really don't want to hear it. And I know people are going to make the argument that like, oh, you get extra goodies with those. You get early access, you get DLC. It's like, yeah, but you get Mario Kart World. Dude, you know what? Honestly, dude, I would have paid $80 for Tears of the Kingdom. I would have paid
You
$80
would,
for Super Mario Odyssey. Dude, I've had Super Mario Odyssey for almost 8 years now. I still play it to this very day. I put
I think it's
hundreds of
just
hours into Odyssey.
I'm still kind of like a little. You're kind of slightly convincing me now as
Well, it's
well.
I don't want to say like every this is the thing is that I'm specifically talking about Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong.
Well,
The
yeah,
the the problem with this though, at least for me, is that because Mario Kart World is going to be a massive hit. This is going to be the thing that triggers because Nintendo just doesn't live in its own little orbit. People are going to see Nintendo pricing this game at $80 physically, and they're going to go, "Oh yeah, we'll do that too." And you're going to see the next Ghost of Yote, guarantee you, Ghost of Yote physically is going to be at least like $80. If the prices are going to go up, even before these tariffs, I bet they would have fucking started doing this.
no, no, yeah, no, yeah,
You know damn
no,
well that Take Two and Rockstar are looking at Nintendo
no.
and like
I
licking
think.
their lips, going like, "Oh yeah,
I mean, I won't deny
fuck
it. I
you,
think.
baby."
I mean, I'm not gonna deny that. I think people are also just complaining because like the standard for buying games in general was always 60, and then to see it go up
Yeah.
little by little, I mean, I can understand the complaints, but then another thing that I'm thinking about is like this is something that even I don't even think about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you guys ever wonder about like how much time and effort people took to make this game?
Yeah.
Like, like seriously, like I mean, maybe they were able to get away with charging less when the economy was in a better
Yeah.
state. But obviously, right now, with the way things are,
Oh my god, dude. And then like honestly, man, I would
I mean,
much
I'm slightly a little bit convinced, but I'm also like, obviously, on one side, I'm like a little
as an
because
isolated incident, I am more in on Nintendo's side, but given the ramifications that this will have for other things, I definitely don't like where this is going. Like, if Nintendo could do this and only Nintendo, maybe, like, if I could choose which companies get that honor, then I would be okay. Like, if we lived in some fantasy world where companies had to like run it by me, it's like, is our game worth $80? Now, again, that's like purely subjective. Like, I would say probably like Ghost of Tsushima was worth $80, but other people would probably be like, no, not that game.
If people are going to complain about game prices, I mean, if you can't afford the game, I don't know, just
Don't
save
buy
up.
it.
Don't buy it, save
Yeah,
up. Or if you really do want something to play, just play something that's cheaper. Like, there are literally $20 games now, or even under
there are
$10
$10
that's well
games that
known.
are terrific. Yeah.
Yeah, and literally we didn't a lot of that wasn't even around for years. Back then, like you would have to
Yeah.
spend like just for a regular DS game, it was like $40. Or no, it was 34.99, and then 3DS kind of went up to 40. But point is that like the video games are just easy to access now. Even if you don't want to spend a lot of money now. Especially since there are always sales going on constantly as well.
I also want to point out that I bet some of these same people that are complaining about Mario Kart Online, or God damn it, Mario Kart World being $80, some of these people are the same people that play Fortnite and spend like $20 on a skin pack.
Oh, you know what
It's
else?
like, are you kidding? Like seriously? Like, we're gonna start complaining about like Mario Kart 8 being $80 physically, and then some of the same people go off and spend like 20, 30, 40, $50 on skin packs for some of these free to play games, or these like gotcha games that are like slot machines for characters. It's like, no, come on. Like, I don't want to hear it with some of it. I don't want to hear this. I guess like the ultimate point that I'm trying to make, because some people can, I assume there are some people out there that would listen to this and think like, oh my god, Razor's like apologizing for Nintendo. It's like, no, what I would like to see are moments like this where there are big complaints that people are raging at Nintendo over this. I want to actually see some follow through, because Richard, I cannot tell you how many times I have been through this where I have
Yeah,
seen controversy after controversy after controversy after controversy after controversy, and most of the time nothing changes, nothing
no, because
happens,
they end up
and
not
they
doing
get
anything about
rewarded.
it.
So I
Yeah,
really, I don't, I think compared to some of the other controversies in the past, I don't think, compared to other things that I have talked about on this channel before, I don't think Mario Kart 8 physical being $80 is as egregious as some of the other, I don't think it's anywhere near as egregious as some of the other things that
yeah,
I've seen. Like, I remember when Call of Duty Black Ops 4 asked people to pay, I think it was like $20 for a new target reticle.
hmm
And I'm like, a target reticle, the little dot you see when you're aiming at somebody, they want you to pay $20 to customize it.
fuck.
Like, come on. And again, like, nothing, people got really upset and nothing happened. And Call of Duty Black Ops 4 went on to be a massive success. People got mad as fuck at those like TMNT skin packs in Call of Duty, and people
Yeah,
still go out and buy them. I just I
yeah,
just I just want to see some, if people are going to complain about Nintendo, that's fine. I have no problem with people complaining. You think that Mario Kart 8 physically being $80 is too much, and they're using it as an obvious tactic to strong arm people out of buying physically. Yes, I absolutely agree. Don't buy the Switch 2 then. Don't buy the next Mario. Don't buy the next Zelda. Don't do it. Just don't do it. I
especially,
just want to see some follow through. For
I just,
once, I want to see some follow through that actually
I
makes real change.
especially, I especially do not want to hear the same fanboys saying that they can do whatever they want with their games, especially when it comes to
Right.
emulation.
That too.
Because seriously, there is also part of the reason why they keep getting away with stuff like this.
Yes. Yes. These are the same people that when
Yeah.
during like the like you said, the emulation stuff, when Nintendo's DMCAing, sending like cease and desist to emulators, shutting down fan projects. These are the same
There,
people that are like, a lot of these. I'm not gonna say everybody. I'm not gonna say everybody that's complaining about the Switch 2 prices are these same people, but a lot of them are the same people that are
yeah,
like, oh,
and
Nintendo can do whatever it wants. Like,
yeah.
nah,
Well,
it's like,
guess what?
ah,
It applies to this
yeah, it
situation too.
does. Like, Nintendo can do whatever it wants.
Yeah, and if you're gonna be mad about this, then be mad about the emulation stuff too,
Yeah, be
because
consistent. Again, be consistent.
emulation is probably the only thing that's gonna be good at helping video games stay preserved
Sure.
at this point.
I would
Because
much
even
rather spend. I'd much rather spend $500 on the Switch 2 and get Mario Kart World than spend $500 on like other shittier games.
for those that complain that are like okay with them getting away with the emulation stuff, and now they're complaining about this.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Shut up.
basically.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry. I want to see you guys do something about the emulation stuff now
Yeah.
too, because that's a threat to game preservation,
Yes.
and because of that, the retro game market is insanely expensive now. And despite the fact that I would love to own a lot of these games physically, I'm not a rich person and I can only have so little bit of space left. So, unfortunately,
And Nintendo
unfortunately,
also does not offer, unlike PlayStation, they also do not offer the retro games on their storefront to be purchased individually online.
no, they don't. You have to play these like off the NSO. Like you don't even get
You
to
have
own
to
them.
pay for that subscription model to do it, which is
Yeah.
I think is egregious for them to
Yeah,
do that. I
it's
greatly dislike that.
I don't like I really don't like. I think they just want to give some incentive as to why you
Well,
should
they're just
be playing all
they're trying to, again, they're trying to like strong arm you into getting to paying extra for their expansion pass for the online.
I haven't even bothered expand
Neither
paying
have
for it.
I, and I'm not going to.
I'm not going to just because I already own most of those games physically, and then two, it's like, are any of my friends really gonna pay for that extra expansion just so that we can all easily play these games together?
No,
No, I doubt it.
no,
When it's probably much easier to just emulate and then just
yeah,
play off Parsec or something.
yeah,
I'm sorry. It's not worth it. I mean, it probably is for those that don't know how to manage their technology, but I'm sorry. It's
yeah.
not worth it.
But let's talk about the tariffs, which is another thing that we can't get around.
Okay, we cannot get a yeah, we
So
cannot.
to be upfront, Richard and I are not economists. Like, we don't
No, we're
fully
not.
understand this, but from what I understand, Nintendo has moved Switch 2 production away from China and more into Vietnam. And as of yesterday, oh no, I think it was Wednesday. Was it? I think it was Wednesday or Thursday that Trump announced these tariffs. So Trump announced this like round, like this sweeping tariff initiative for like a ton of countries, and one of them was Vietnam. And I think Vietnam got something like like within the realm of like 45 to 50% reciprocal tariff, which is enormous. And that's not good because Nintendo is producing the Switch 2 more out of Vietnam. So, I mean, even at like today, Nintendo said that, you know, they were going to do pre-orders in the US starting on the 9th, but then they were like, we're going to have to delay it because we're going to have to figure out what to do.
Yeah,
And I think what's going to end up happening is they're probably just going to slap another $50 to $100 on the Switch 2 and go from there.
I mean, worst
But
case scenario, the highest ends up actually being
it's
700.
possible 700. You know, I really, especially with the PS5 Pro being 700, I guess I could see it. At
I
that
mean,
point, I'd really be like, no, like
you
I'm not
you
doing that.
wouldn't pay 700 for a Switch 2.
No,
I don't even think
that's where
I
I draw the line. Yeah.
Yeah, if this ends up going even higher to like 700, nope, I might have to hold out for a little bit longer. I'm
Well, and
sorry.
then you know damn well that they're going to slap more money on the because Japan, I think they got I think something within the realm of like a 25 to 30% tariff on them as well. And
But we
they
got
make their
44.
cartridges from Japan. Huh?
We got 44% though.
We do, but I mean this is again, but we're just talking about like the short-term reciprocal stuff. Things are already happening. Even as we talk, things are already happening where I know countries like Argentina they've already met with Trump and are trying to get a deal worked out. Vietnam, the Vietnamese government has already been in contact with Trump and they are going to start negotiations. I don't know what that means, but that's something. I know China slapped another retaliatory tariff on the United States, which is not good, but
I honestly don't know how long this will last. It's hard to tell. I
mhm,
mean, like you said, we're not economists.
right.
I mean, I don't know, but point is that like even everything keeps going up. It's not just video games
Hmm.
or even like just like even food in general. Like freaking eggs are insanely expensive right now too.
I feel like if your number one worry is how much the Switch 2 is going to cost, then that's pretty good living. It's like when you're not worried about other things. It's like, oh, what about my Switch 2? It's like, yeah, okay, you know. Let's worry about some other things first of all. But just for the sake of argument, I just you know what's extra funny to me about
But
this whole Nintendo thing is that it's so funny. Like after already getting hounded about these prices for days from their fan base, can you
yeah.
imagine the chaos that would happen if Nintendo were to come back next week and announce like, oh, actually the Switch 2 is going to be 550 or 600? Can you imagine the fury that they would get from
Oh
that?
yeah. Yeah, they will.
But it's so funny that and I told you this too. That like I really I don't think Nintendo could have picked a worse time to release a console under these circumstances and with this arrogance that they have, because this whole situation is like this horrible mix of even more egregious Nintendo arrogance, nickel and diming, customer blowback, an already shit economy, and now these tariffs rocking the entire world. I mean, they could not have picked a worse time to release a console and be this fucking arrogant about it.
They could have released this last year
Yes.
to avoid this.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, people have been demanding for a Switch 2 for years
Mm-hmm.
already. And instead they go on to make a Switch OLED.
The OLED, yeah.
The OLED honestly was a waste. I'm sorry. That shit was a waste. It's just a better screen.
It
And
is a
sure, if it
nice
does
looking
help,
screen though, to be
it
fair.
is a nice looking screen, fine. I'll give it that. But honestly, if there are no specs changed, then what was the fucking point of it? I'm
Is the
sorry.
OLED. Is to charge you more money. Again, all your questions about Nintendo can be answered with the Mr. Krabs, the hello, I like money. That's
Yeah.
that's that's literally what it is. Like, Nintendo just
I mean,
loves making money
I
and
mean the
telling you to
Switch
go fuck
Lite.
yourself.
I mean the Switch Lite. I can somewhat understand because I know some people just
Yes,
like to play
I
it on
can
handheld.
understand that.
My brother has a Switch Lite. He rarely touches it though, but regardless, like I can understand that one. So, oh gosh, just think about the Switch Lite. It's like, are they gonna have to make a Switch 2 Lite now to make it
Yeah, they will.
accessible now?
Dude, they're gonna make a Switch 2 Lite. They're gonna make a Switch 2 OLED at some point in the future. Like it's, I know what's gonna happen, but
Will you buy a Switch 2 Lite if that's an option at launch?
yeah. You know what? I'm really surprised. Like I'm shocked that they did not make a digital only Switch 2. Now that I think about it, I'm really surprised they didn't do that and just be like, "Oh, we're gonna make a $400." I know they have a cheaper version in Japan that's region locked in order to combat people flying to Japan, buying it for like the weak yen, and then coming back to the United States and having it and using like the region free access. But I'm really surprised that Nintendo did not make a digital only one to further undercut the the other consoles on the market, where it's like, Switch 2 digital only, $400, Switch 2 with physical, $450. I'm
Yeah,
really surprised they didn't do that at this point.
yeah. This is the weird thing about Nintendo. Like they still want to do physical games, but it's like they want everybody to do digital
They
as
clearly don't
well.
want you to do physical, but they're going to make it
Not
as
as
annoying and inconvenient and expensive as possible to be a physical gamer.
At this point, like being a physical gamer is like a collector kind of. Well, it's always been a collector
It's a
thing,
very
but
enthusiast kind of thing.
it's like a luxury thing now
Yes, it is.
at this point.
Yeah,
So it makes it difficult for
yeah,
people like me now, unfortunately, who
yeah.
wants to own everything like 100%.
But what's funny
Of
about all
course.
this is like I haven't seen a perfect storm of bad for a console launch like this in a long time. Not since the Xbox One. Like
Oh,
I haven't seen something like this in over 10 years. It's quite amusing to watch.
remember when the 3DS was launched? That shit was 250
Oh
and
god.
everybody was mad about it. I mean, I was kind of upset about it too. I
Yeah.
mean, I was only a junior in high school. I was like, holy fuck, $250 for this. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is expensive.
This is
And
a
then
pricey
finally when
boy.
they announced then once they announced the price cut, I'm like, oh, thank God. But then I
Hmm.
saw that those people were getting the ambassador program that they had to do in order to
Mhm.
make up for those that paid for so much.
Yeah.
I was like, gosh, I'm missing out on this now. But I was like, I mean, I'm only a kid in high school. I don't have a job. I'll have to take what I can get. So
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever.
But you know what I also think, dude, and this is something I was talking about with Ian earlier today, is that I bet some people inside of Nintendo HQ are secretly like drooling over these tariffs. Like they love that this is happening because now they can charge just astronomical prices for Switch 2 and the cartridges and the products. And rather than get a lot of blowback that they normally would get, they can point to these tariffs and go like, that's because of this. It's like this is the reason that we can charge a $600 console. And it's like, look, dude, I have like a miles long list of things I dislike about Trump and his presidency, but I did not I did not want to equate the $450 console and the $80 games to Trump. Like I saw a lot of people doing, because
Yeah.
I think that's letting Nintendo off far too easily for their own greed and hubris. And even in this case, because after these tariffs, because from what I understand, a lot of the stock for the Switch 2 is already in the United States. So it's already been made, it's already been paid for, it's already in the United States. These tariffs are going to be used to justify upping the price for a product that they already have in the United States. And Nintendo is going to get away with it because they can just go, "Oh, it's because of the tariffs." Like go complain to the Trump administration. Just go do that. That's to me it's like it's almost like it's almost like politically opportunistic. Very politically advantageous for Nintendo to go $600 Switch to blame Trump, pay for it or don't. We don't give a fuck. And
Yeah.
they I don't know, dude. They might be able to get away with it if they could.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Because I mean, but again, I wonder if this is going to be like an early PS3 situation where even the most loyal, hardcore fan base is going to look at this and just go, "Nah, we're good." I wonder. I really do wonder if that's going to make a difference. I'm really, really interested in finding out what happens
I mean,
if Nintendo comes out and says like, "Oh, our console is now going to be $600 because of current market conditions and whatnot."
let's be real. I don't even think a lot of parents are gonna even want to bother because
No,
a lot of
a lot of them are
and
not. No,
even the some of the people who aren't even really gamers, the ones that are just like casually gaming, I doubt they're even gonna want to.
no,
Because
dude, they're
a
gonna
lot of
stick with like Fortnite and fucking Call of Duty and shit like that because it's free to play. I'm telling you, dude, like a huge negative consequence of these like $80 games as well is that more people are just gonna stick with free to play games.
Yeah, that's what I
They're
noticed.
they're gonna be they're gonna be more risk adverse than ever to go out of their comfort zone and try new things. Just because, like, this is also where like I fear for the future of like the AA games and the indie games, because a lot of people are simply just going to stick with what they already like and not have the financial imperative or the means to try things that are outside of their wheelhouse. And that's,
Yeah,
dude, that's gonna put a fucking stranglehold on so many parts of this industry. Like, it really is just, it's only gonna get worse from here. But
I mean,
I
you're not wrong. I mean, this is what I was thinking about because something I've noticed, at least from when it comes to like even people from like other countries, because video games are so expensive. I've noticed that a lot of them really tend to play. I could be wrong, but they tend to play games that are like very like trendy for the most part because those are the ones that I guess like they're very easy to access, like Fortnite
mm-hmm.
or League of Legends,
Well, it's
Valorant.
free. Yeah, free.
Yeah, because it's free. It's easy for them to access, and
Hmm.
I don't blame them for doing that because, well, video games are expensive in other countries. I think my cousin told me that because he came from Venezuela when he was living there, he told me that a game would cost like I think like around $100 or more, and
Mm-hmm.
because like the pay is low, it would take him like 3 months to even like save up.
Yeah.
So I was like, holy crap. It's crazy. I'm
Yeah,
just like,
it's
and I look at how much things are here, and I'm like, I'm so lucky that the games are not this expensive here.
this is why I get mad at the people who give Nintendo a pass for so long, and then when something like this happens, they start complaining. It's like, where was this anger like all these years ago? Where was
Yeah,
this? Where was this all these years ago? But anyway, so let's talk about the games that were at the Switch 2 presentation.
video games.
Video games.
Woohoo!
So, let's start with the stuff that we probably don't really have a lot to say about. So let's start with the third party stuff. Were there any third party standouts to you? Because I have a
Third
few.
party standouts. I mean, not really. I mean, I'm be real with you. Like, I'm glad in terms of like third party. I'm glad Nintendo has third party now because
Yes.
I still can't believe like during the Wii and Wii U era they had nothing really for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I'm glad they finally gotten to a point where they have third party support for a while now. But in terms of the games, I mean, I'm not really that. I mean, I didn't care as much just because I know some of these games, like I know I could just get them on the indie stuff. I know I could just get them on PC or like even on PS5. But and then I a lot of the times like I'm just not into like a lot of these big AAA games like I've told you before just
Yeah.
because
No, I
like
get you.
I know they take a lot of time to it takes a lot of dedication and hours just to finish them.
Yeah.
And like I told you like before, like I kind of just like would rather just play smaller titles now the older I get just because like they're faster, they're shorter, I can beat them sooner, and I feel like they're just they're more memorable. It's much more easier to remember a smaller title you beat than it is to a bigger AAA title just because like I mean there's so many hours that you put into a bigger AAA title and it's like are you really going to remember all of that including the I guess like the story cutscenes for the most part unless you like look them up or something. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, to be fair, Switch is getting a lot of indie. Dude, the Switch is like a massive boon for the indie industry. It's been incredible to watch how the Switch has kind of been the console that you need to be on if you're an indie studio. If your
Yeah,
game, if the Switch can handle your game, you get that game on the Switch
yeah.
because of the portability factor to it. It's pretty
Oh yeah.
incredible. So to see finally the third parties come out and state loudly their support for Nintendo to the point where games that haven't been on the like Nintendo consoles in ages, like EA Sports, Um, fucking Cyberpunk, Elden Ring, Yakuza 0 is getting a Switch exclusive version. Final Fantasy 7 remake is coming to it. Dude, the Switch 2 is going to be like a huge boon to strategy games as well because of the mouse functionality of the Joy-Con. So, and then they got time exclusivity for Hades 2. They showed Silk Song finally again, confirmed that it's
Mhm.
coming out this year, which is huge because that crowd is like, I really like, I feel for the Silk Song people because, you know, with us being Kingdom Hearts people and considering the state we're in with Kingdom Hearts right now, I feel for the Silk Song people out there. I
Yeah,
know the pain of waiting. Don't worry, I get it. And then they announced, which I knew they were going to, some Switch 2 upgrades for certain games like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, Kirby, Mario Party, Jamboree.
do you feel like people should be paying for these upgrades? Like, I feel like they
No,
should be for free.
I think the ones that aren't going to be coming with new content should not be paid. I think
Okay.
Jamboree and Kirby, if they're adding new stuff to it, I don't think a $30 upgrade, I think that's too much. Maybe like 10 or
Mhm.
20, I'd be like, fine, whatever. But 30, it's like, eh. And then Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, though, it's like, come on, those should be free.
Those, yeah, they should be free,
I
but
know they're free with the expansion pass version of the NSO, but it's like, come on, guys, like, come on, just for God's sakes, you're making us pay for a fucking tutorial for the Switch 2. Just give us the damn upgrades for Breath of the Wild and Tears for free. Like,
yeah.
come
I
on.
only I only ask because I know PlayStation exclusives they tend to charge like $10.
This is
At
where
least
Nintendo is like copying PlayStation's homework and being like, oh, did PlayStation makes people pay $10 for their upgrades? And they do? Oh my god, we can do the same thing. Bunch of people
they,
out there will pay $10 for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom at 60. And unfortunately, I'm one of them. I can't. You know, the thing is, like, I can't be too mad at this because I know damn well, like, that's. I said it during the stream. It's like that's how you get me.
I'm gonna be real. I have Breath of the Wild on Wii U, and unfortunately, because it's on Wii U, I'm never Breath of the
Oof.
Wild can I cannot experience Breath of the Wild at 120 frames. So just for the foreseeable future, in case if I ever do decide to replay it, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to pay for that $80 for Breath of the Wild.
It's
I'm just
70
gonna
for Breath of the Wild and it's 80 for Tears. I
okay, so
don't. I don't
I don't have
know
to worry
if that is physically or digitally as well. I don't
okay.
know. I
I'm
think
probably
that's probably digitally as well. Knowing Nintendo, that's probably fucking digital. You're gonna
and
go on the fucking Nintendo store and it's like, oh,
and
Tears
just
of the
for the
Kingdom,
sake
$80, bitch.
and just for the sake of my collector's gut, I'm probably gonna have to go buy the physical version of Breath of the Wild, even though it's in the regular. I know I could just wait for the Switch 2 version because everything will be on there, but you know what? No, I'm just gonna wait for. Fuck it, I have the Wii U box. Nope, never mind. Even though it's gonna look ugly, I'd rather just have everything on there.
Well, things like
Because
I've been replaying Breath of the Wild, and I've been wanting to replay Tears of the Kingdom for a while. And now that I know these exist, I just and your save data transfers over, like thank God as it should. I'm like, yep, I'm not playing Breath of the Wild anymore on the stinky Switch. I'm gonna fucking wait for the Switch 2
yeah,
version. If I get around to
um,
it, I'll
that
wait to play Tears on
That's
the Switch 2.
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna have to pay that's $70 for that entirety of Breath of the Wild because I know
Yeah.
the Wii U version it's stuck at 30 frames for now.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I will say, like, even though Breath of the Wild is stuck at 30 frames, I still think it's a gorgeous game artistically, and just I can only imagine what it's gonna look like running, like that famous shot of Link running to the hill, and it like
yeah,
overlooks all of Hyrule while like the
yeah,
music plays, and then it shows the Breath of the
yeah,
Wild. Oh man, that's gonna be fucking incredible to see that at 60 frames, dude.
yeah.
That's gonna be incredible.
Point is though, I just want to have access to that in case of like I do decide to replay it.
So let's get into individually some of the more noteworthy games that were at this presentation. I'm gonna go from let's
Let's
I'm just gonna
let's
start with
start.
the worst one. I'm gonna start with what is easily like the worst, most egregious goddamn thing at this presentation, which is Welcome Tutorial. I I hate this thing with every fiber of my being. Maybe if this was free, I would be less antagonistic towards it. But even by Nintendo standards, to charge money for what is basically like an interactive manual for the Switch 2. That to me is just it's fucking insanity to ask people, to force people to spend. I don't even care if it ends up being like $5. That dude, not in a world where Wii Sports exists. Definitely not in a world where Astro's Playroom exists.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not like Welcome Tutorial looks great. Dude, that footage that was shown of it during the Treehouse presentation, I couldn't even get through 5 minutes of that before I was bored out of my mind watching that footage.
I was just skimming through it
It's
like
so boring.
just mini games, like little mini games. I'm just like, do I really want to pay for this? I'm like, probably not.
Did you
I'm
see the
sorry.
one mini game where they made this big deal about how they could fit all of World 1 from Super Mario Brothers in the thing, like on the screen at the same time?
Kind of. Briefly saw it, but I didn't really see
They were
all of
like
it.
wow, look at, because of this we're telling you how many pixels, since it's so creative that we could fit, it's so cool that we could fit all of one on the 4K display. I'm like, fuck off. Like, fuck, this bullshit is what you're making people pay $5-10 for? Are you out of your fucking mind, Nintendo? Like, I know
I'm not.
Nintendo was out of its fucking mind, but
I think it,
that, oh my god, like, what are you
no.
doing?
The thing with Nintendo is this, cause like I remember, obviously like Reggie in his book, he said that he fought to get Wii Sports
Yeah,
to be added in the Wii
smart
for
man.
free. But Miyamoto and Iwata and I guess like everybody, they I think they argued with him, saying that they didn't want they wanted it to be paid because the thing is they like to be rewarded with all their hard work. But in a case like
I'm
this,
buying a damn console. I'm
with
rewarding you
Wii
for your hard work.
with the Wii Sports, you are showing off what the Wii could do.
Yes, that was the whole
So
fucking point of it.
technically, We Play. If we were to be real, I feel like We Play should have also probably been bundled in together with Wii Sports. But in the end, they only got Wii Sports, which is fine. But now we're talking about this. Uh,
It's
well,
fucking ridiculous.
they were able to do it with the Wii U with Nintendo Land, but I think Reggie fought for that too. I think I don't know. That's just my
Well
assumption. I
then,
don't think it.
like,
And then
compare how they introduce the features of the console in Welcome Tutorial to something like Astro's Playroom, where Astro's Playroom is all about showing you, hey, we have fast SSD loading, we have the cooling, we have the ray tracing and whatever. But they make an exploration of your brand new PlayStation 5 creative and fun and exciting. Like Astro's Playroom, we're talking about, being rewarded. If I had known how fantastic, like how much I would love Astro's Playroom, I would have spent money on Astro's Playroom. I would have given Team Asobi like $30-40 for that. Like, I fucking love Astro's Playroom. I love it. Like, for something that is a tech demo for a console, it is like astronomically better than it has any right to be. It's just this like fun, charming, bite-sized little game that has a ton of personality to it, a ton of little details, a ton of hidden animations you could find. I mean, I think it's an excellent game in its own right, and it's free. You're going to tell me that PlayStation can make a game like that for free, and yet Nintendo has the goddamn nerve to charge $5-10 for their bland ass boring motherfucking tutorial for the Switch 2 that you just spent 450 or $650 on. Fuck off. No,
Exactly.
fuck off.
It,
No, fuck off.
it
Fuck
that's
right
the
off
thing
with
that
that
bugs
shit.
me. It's like, guys, like,
Fuck off.
guys,
Fuck off,
this could have
Nintendo.
been free. It's not that hard. You guys made Wii Sports free with the Wii. You guys made Nintendo Land free with the Wii U. Those were made to show off what each of those consoles could do.
Right.
They could have done that with 1-2 Switch,
That
but
should have
no
been a
one.
pack-in game
But
as
one,
well.
but nope, nobody, but nope.
At
They
least
wanted.
1-2 Switch. I never thought I would say this. At least 1-2 Switch is like some goofy weirdo shit that like I don't know, it has more meat to it compared to fucking Welcome Tutorial.
I can't believe that's over.
This is what Welcome Tutorial has reduced me to where I'm going to bat for fucking 1-2 Switch, which is a game that sucks dick. But fucking Welcome Tutorial, that's how bad it is. That's how this is what it's reduced me to, defending fucking 1-2 Switch. It's
Fucking Nintendo
unreal.
Switch. Nintendo Switch Sports should have been a thing at the Switch's launch.
Yes! Dude, do like sports or something with like the mouse controls and whatnot. That would have been dope. As a little pack-in game, that would have been fun as hell. Have it where people, dude, have a game available in the console that's free that takes advantage of like the face cam and the body motion. You know, have
The
like
3DS
Mii's
had
playing
that.
volleyball, and you get to see your face on the Mii's while they play volleyball, and it's like, dude,
The 3DS had that. You had the
yeah.
AR cards to show off
Oh, that's right.
what the AR stuff can
Yeah, yeah,
do.
yeah.
It had face raiders where it checks your face, and then you could use the AR camera to shoot the faces. Seriously,
Just
like
the
what?
absolute nerve, dude. Just I can't. I can believe it because it's Nintendo, but again, even by Nintendo standards, this is in fucking sane to charge
I
money
think
for this. I don't
I
even
think
care, dude. I don't care that it's $5. Charging $5 for this, to me, I'm more outraged by this than I am by Mario
we
Kart World physical as $80.
we need Reggie back. I miss Reggie already. He would have
Yeah.
fought, but gosh
Anyway,
dang.
I don't want to talk about Welcome Tutorial anymore. Let's talk about another game that I this one I really don't have much to say about either, which is Dragon Drive or Drag X Drive, which is the
Drag Cross Drive,
Drag
Drag
Cross Drive,
Drive. I
whatever they
don't
call
know.
it, which is the game. It's the obvious. Again, it's another like tech demo thing where they're showing off what the Switch 2 mouse
Triple
cap.
basketball.
Yeah, crippled basketball.
Triple basketball.
I've.
Triple basketball.
I think
Look,
if they had done this concept, but they had just made it a lot more stylish and goofy looking, given it more personality, I might be on board with it. And depending on the price, because if this thing is like $60, they can go fuck themselves. But I just think artistically, it just looks so boring. And dude, I was watching that Nintendo Treehouse footage. It looks like a nightmare to play, and not in a fun way. Like, it just does not look fun to me. Like, because you're constantly just like moving your fucking arms on whatever surface you have the stupid Joy-Con mouse thing on, and you're just simulating constantly just rolling the damn wheel on your wheelchair. It's like, it just looks so. It looks like you would maybe enjoy it for like 10 minutes, and then you would just be over it.
that's how I feel about it because I'm like, is this all you do? I'm just like, are there other modes? Is there a story? Is there a career
Yeah,
mode?
really.
I'm like, is this all it is? I'm sorry,
For
because
$20 more, you goddamn right I'd rather play Mario Kart World.
I'm
You damn right.
how much is this
I don't
game?
know. That's the thing. Dude, I can imagine this being. How much was 1-2 Switch? Was that like 50 or 60?
Like around there?
I can imagine this being 50 or 60.
You know what? I'm actually gonna look that up right now. How much is Drag Cross Drive?
It's no. Look up how much 1-2 Switch is. I'm curious how much that was at launch. Because
How
that
much
would
it
probably
was?
give us a good idea of how much this is going to cost. But dude, I'm telling you, if this is anywhere near like Donkey Kong Bonanza, it's like, dude, no, come on, not fucking Dragon Drive, not crippled basketball, okay? Like, no, come on.
Okay, one two
Oh,
Switch
how much was
is
it? I feel like I should do
gosh,
a drum roll, like ta-da!
49.99.
Okay, so 50. That is way too much for fucking 1-2 Switch. For
And Drag
$50, I can go buy like two excellent indie games, like higher priced indie games.
I'm not look, Drag Drive has some cool things like, doing tricks and then in order to increase the amount of points you can get. But if this is all it is, I know I'm gonna, like you said, I know I'm gonna get bored of this fast. Like I'm just looking, I'm like,
It looks
yeah,
physically exhausting to play
this
with the
this
Joy-Con.
looks I'm like, this looks cool, but I'm like, I don't know how long I'll be able to play this,
Nah.
unfortunately.
This is a no for me, Chief. I'm not playing
I'm not
your
I'm for sure not buying it.
I'm not playing paraplegic Rocket League. There's no fucking way I'm doing that. The next game, these next two, we don't. You'll probably have a lot to say about the one after, but Kirby Air Riders, we don't know a lot about this other than Sakurai is directing it, which is funny because the day before the Switch 2 presentation, you and I were theorizing about what Sakurai could be working on. I didn't think he'd be working on a sequel to Kirby Air Ride, and to be perfectly honest, and this just goes to show like how ignorant I am of Nintendo's history in some areas. I didn't even know Kirby Air Ride was a thing until
It,
this Switch 2 presentation.
it's an like I told you even after the direct. I thought the game was okay. I never got fully into it, but I know a lot of people love that game. But even from my experience, like I got bored of it really quick.
Hmm.
Like I just didn't care about it as much. I'm like,
There are a lot
no,
of
this is
videos that
boring.
are talking about how underrated it is and how people just didn't understand it when it came out. And I'm like, okay, like I'm not gonna go off and play the damn thing now, but I'm not when Air Riders is about to come out, but
I mean, if you
it
want to emulate it and see what it's like,
oh well
then
that's true, yeah, to be fair.
you could see what it's like. But I'm just like, honest, personally, I couldn't get into it.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
couldn't get into it. I'm just like, I got bored of it. I'm like, people liked it a lot, but I'm like, nope, this is, I'm not into this. I'm sorry.
I'd rather just play Mario Kart, honestly. Or Crash CTR or Diddy
There
Kong
are better,
Racing or any of
there are
those.
better, there are better kart racers out
Yeah.
there.
But what do you think of Air Riders? Like, did you expect to see that at the Switch too? Because I was like,
That was
eh?
just shocking. I was like, wait, is this? I was like, is this Smash? Because I saw the color fading, and then I see the jets. I'm like, Kirby Air Ride? And then
Yeah,
I'm like, and then that's when it came out, and I'm like, Kirby Air
coming
Riders.
out this year too, which is crazy that's going to be a Switch 2 year one game.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, well, I mean, if they improve from what the original was,
sure.
then maybe I'll give it a shot, but we'll see. I mean,
Yeah,
I wasn't a big fan of the original, so
I
we'll
don't know.
see.
So next one, I'm gonna let you talk about this because I have nothing to say about this. It's Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment.
Oh, I am hype. You know how
So
I feel about the Hyrule Warriors
I
games.
know. So I'll
I,
let you talk about
I
this
love
one.
I love the first one. Age of Calamity is very good. It's just unfortunate it suffers with a bunch of frame drops, especially since it's using the maps are all. I feel like they were all under the way the maps are in Age of Calamity. It's like the same way they were. It's the same maps basically as in Breath of the Wild was.
Mm-hmm.
And because like everything is like so like because the paths are like so tight, there isn't a lot of space sometimes in order to run away from the enemies sometimes, especially the bigger ones.
So it
But
forces you to fight them.
kind of, yeah, I guess.
Okay.
But the fact that like it suffers from frame rate, it makes
Well,
me
of
sad
course.
because I wish you could have played it. I know you tried it out. You had it would drop frames even below 30, and you're like, nope, I can't. And I'm like, all right, that's fair.
I
But
could deal with the occasional frame drop in Tears of the Kingdom because that's not a very it's not like as anywhere near as action heavy as Hyrule Warriors is or Age of Calamity specifically. But I can't play an action game that is like that kinetic and that like filled to the screen with stuff going on and movement
Yeah.
at like an inconsistent 30 frames. That's gonna make me want to throw up.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. So the fact that we're getting a Hyrule Warriors and now with the Switch 2 hardware, the fact it's probably gonna run smooth. I'm like,
Well, I hope
this is
so. I hope it runs smoothly.
I hope Age of Calamity gets that upgrade as well.
I don't
Because
think this is Omega Force either. I don't, because I didn't see the. I went back and I watched the trailer. I don't see Omega Force mentioned in like the initial blurb. All I see is like Koei Tecmo, and then I see like AAA Game Studio, whatever the fuck they're calling it, and it's like this. I don't know if it's like some combo of their teams at Koei Tecmo, or if this is a new studio. I have no idea what this is, but
I don't know.
I don't think it's Omega Force doing this.
I don't know, but I'm just glad that this one will run well, at least for the most
Yeah.
part. For the most part.
Yeah. Next, I we're gonna talk about the Duskbloods, but I don't. I know you're not particularly interested in this one.
Not I wish I was because the art style's
It
cool.
is really cool. It looks like very Bloodborne inspired,
I,
obviously.
I mean, I got Liza P
Liza P as well, yeah.
but I was like, is this single player? Because I was like, I in my gut, I was like thinking, okay, maybe I'll like this, but then I remember it's a Soulsborne game, and you know, Adam, Liza P kind of like right now, I feel defeated by Liza P because
Well, the whole point of these games is like to get back in there and try again. So I
yeah,
mean,
and
maybe you'll try again with Liza P one day. But my point of contention with Duskbloods, and it was funny. Like Clay was talking about how like, oh, now that it's Switch 2 exclusive, Razor's out. I'm like, no, that's not the problem. The problem is that it's a PvP VE game. That's my like, no, I'm good, thank you. And I've seen some people make the argument that like, well, isn't that what all of From Software's games are? They're all PvP VE. It's like, no. A lot of their games, like the more recent things from like Demon Souls onward, you can play them by yourself. You don't have to worry about dealing with other players if you don't want to. You don't have to worry about fucking people like a non NPC coming in and fucking you up and stealing your shit. You don't have to worry about that. Like even Sekiro has no multiplayer to speak of whatsoever. So you better really get good in that fucking game or you're done. There's no summoning in Sekiro or anything like that. So when I saw this initially, I was actually really excited. I went, oh shit, we're gonna get new From Software on the Switch 2. This looks dope. You got Hidetaka Miyazaki directing it. And then they said PvP VE. And I went, I'm good. Because I don't want to deal with a game where it's like you're being dropped in a map with other players intentionally. And I know Miyazaki has come out and said later in one of those blog posts on the Nintendo website that like, oh, if you're a single player game and you don't like to play with others, you will be satisfied. That's his quote. You will be satisfied. And I'm going, I'd rather just play Dark Souls or Bloodborne again, dude. Like I'm good. I even like normal Souls games, I don't really enjoy the PvP aspect of it. But I'm just disappointed that again we're getting yet another From Software game that is multiplayer focused. And I understand that Hidetaka Miyazaki wants to experiment. I understand there are things he can do in this that he can't do in other games like Demon Souls or Sekiro or Bloodborne or what have you, but this also really like raises the question for me if because the excuse I've heard from people one of the reasons is that like for Bloodborne remaster or Bloodborne 2 not happening is that they're busy with other things. From Software, they don't want to do console exclusive stuff anymore. Well, that excuse went out the fucking window after Duskbloods because that's I don't know if it's a permanent exclusive or a time exclusive for the Switch 2. I'm pretty sure it's a temporary exclusive because they're gonna want to get this thing on PC ASAP. But I just I'm just like, yeah, there's no excuse anymore. Where the fuck is Bloodborne remaster? where the fuck is Bloodborne 2? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what is this? You make a game that literally looks like Bloodborne in some instances. Like, almost to the point where there was a creature in particular that looked like the cleric beast from Bloodborne. It looks like the cleric beast. Some of those environments look like Yharnam. What is going on? Where is Bloodborne 2? What the hell is happening? What the hell is happening, Sony? Get that shit worked out. Fucking dying over here for Bloodborne 2. Anyway, that I think it looks really good. It's just unfortunately the PvPv just doesn't. No, that's a turn off for me.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Next game, the penultimate one we'll talk about is Mario Kart World, which is the I guess is the most controversial game to come out of this presentation because of the price point. But as far as the game itself goes, I think it looks fucking great. It looks like a Forza Horizon game, but Mario Kart.
Yeah, but in terms of the open world,
yes,
section, the part it's like, besides just driving around with friends, is there more to do? That's what I want to know.
That's also something I'm curious. I'm sure they'll talk about it more during the direct in a couple weeks, but when I was watching the footage, they made a point of mentioning how free roam can be used as a way to scope out the courses so you can figure out what the shortcuts are and where the secrets are. So I guess there's that. There's also just the novelty of racing around with your friends. I did see a few interactable things on the maps. Like, you can do tricks off of, like, the freeway, cars, and what have you. So things like that. There's also the novelty of just exploring this, like, massive environment that's going to constantly be changing as far as what it looks like and just the general environments. There's weather, there's a day-night cycle. I know as far as collectibles, I think this is how you collect skins.
Mm-hmm.
You go into the map and you drive around, because at one point when they looked at the world map, they were hovering over the courses that you could explore in free roam, and they had these boxes with question marks in them, and they had portraits of Mario, but he was like in different skins. And I'm going, okay, so that's probably how you unlock skins. You're exploring these courses, but like you, I want to know what's going on more in the open world and what is going to make this fun to explore. That's my major question, because collecting skins is going to get old after a while.
At that point, they might as well. Why didn't they just give it a story? That's what I want to know, because Diddy Kong Racing has an open hub world where you're driving around and you go in to do these races.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why couldn't they do it with this? It makes,
I don't know.
And this is where one thing where I will roast Mario Kart on. Like, Diddy Kong Racing had it first. I'm sorry. And I know so many people are mad that Diddy Kong isn't even a playable character so far.
Oh, I saw that. Don't worry, he'll be in the DLC. Don't worry about that.
Maybe he'll be, but I'm gonna be real. I'm honestly okay with him not being in there, just because because even before he got re-added into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I was always like speculating if maybe they're possibly trying to experiment with trying to bring back Diddy Kong Racing back in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Rare owns almost like half of the almost majority of the cast in that game besides Diddy Kong. So I was like maybe there's hope. And then because, to be fair, they could still pull off maybe a Diddy Kong Racing sequel as long as they just use the DK characters only. I mean, they have before with like DK Barrel Blast, but DK Barrel Blast was a shit game, unfortunately. So I'm like, why not just use those characters from DK Barrel Blast and just try to make the Donkey Kong Racing game that was once being developed back in the GameCube days. Like, it's not that hard. Just make a Donkey Kong Racing game with Donkey Kong characters.
I don't know, dude. They're bringing Kirby Air Ride back. They might do that one of these days, possibly.
I don't know. I don't know. Diddy Kong Racing is. I know that could probably come to the NSO someday, but I'm
Sure.
like, I'm like, I really wish Donkey Kong Racing never got canceled. It's because it had a good concept. Like you were able to ride animals
Oh
instead
yeah,
of
that was fun.
instead of driving cars. Like you're riding animals on land, on water, and even in the sky. At least that's my assumption. Because Diddy Kong Racing, you had planes,
Mhm.
hovercrafts, and cars. So I'm like, this is a good concept, and I don't think anyone has tackled this yet. I mean, hey, that's one concept I feel like
Yeah,
they should go back and experiment on.
it'd be cool if they added that in Mario Kart World. You can start riding around on animals in the free roam. That'd be funny.
On an ostrich.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? You know.
Yeah,
But I like too in this game that you race between the courses when you're doing like the traditional circuit. That's pretty
yeah,
fun. I like that battle royale esque mode where you do like like a transcontinental race across
yeah.
many courses, and you have to place above a certain
A certain
rank.
placing, and if not, you
Yeah,
get eliminated. Yeah, I
yeah,
thought that was
that
cool.
actually looks really fun. I like that. I like that mode. The concept of that mode a lot.
Yeah, I like that mode too. Where I really like that mode as well.
But I think it
Um,
looks gorgeous. I love the rail grinding. I love the wall running, the wall driving you can do where you're like wall jumping, like hopping from wall one side of the wall to the other. It looks so cool. It looks so fluid.
I still
So
find it funny that they're adding in basically like any character at this point. The freaking
yeah,
penguin, the
the
cow,
cow.
the, the little long neck thing from Mario 3D World, like Monty Mole. Well, Monty Mole, he was a playable character in previous games and other games, but
I'm
the
surprised. I wouldn't be
dolphin
surprised if they added one of those talking the talking plants from Wonder.
from Mario Wonder.
Because they're already in Mario Jamboree plus TV, so they might as well add him into Mario Kart World.
They're adding in basically any random thing at this
Well,
point.
he's
Like
charming. It's I mean, well, I
it's
think it's
funny.
charming to add in a bunch of just obscure characters in the
I'm
Mario
just like
property.
as soon as I see them, I'm like, this is obscure. I'm just like, this is funny. It makes no sense, but I like it.
How much do you want to bet they're going to announce the first wave of DLC at the Direct?
Oh fuck.
They're
Oh,
gonna add like a $20 expansion pass, and you get like 4 or 5 uh
characters.
yeah, because I wonder how successful that second racer pack was, or not the second one, but the you know what I mean, the racing pass to deluxe, to Mario
The
Kart 8
booster
Deluxe
course pass.
booster course pack. Thank you.
I'm
That
pretty sure it
one
was very successful.
I bought
That
it.
was I
I bought
still
it. Yeah,
yeah, I bought it too. I was like, I was in shock, and when I saw $20 for all this, I was like, holy fuck!
I'm sure it's gonna be more like 30 or 40 when
I'll pay
when
for it. I'll pay for
yeah,
it. If I
again,
still
dude,
get it for
it's like
cash, I'll do it.
again, dude, I can't complain too much about some of these prices because it's like I know damn well that I could be persuaded to do it. Now, would I prefer they be lower? You know, absolutely, but I am, if the content is fun and I enjoy it, I am okay paying what I believe to be a reasonable price for something.
Oh, I forgot to add this in our previous in what we were chatting about earlier about game prices.
Mm-hmm.
Sakurai made a note in his video saying he said he argues that video games are cheap because other
Yes,
forms of
I've seen
entertainment
that.
like going to amusement parks, those can be expensive too. So it's like to him he thinks video games are cheap. But
Yeah,
obviously like
I mean, I'm not surprised he thinks that, considering he works in the video game industry and he probably sees a lot. I mean, he not probably, he definitely sees a lot more than we do, the common folk do about the video game development. But again, it's all about how you present it. And again, I think Nintendo did a very poor job being upfront with the consumer and letting their arrogance get in the way, because that has like dominated the conversation around Mario Kart World, which I think rightfully so in certain cases because of Nintendo's hubris and arrogance. But it's such a shame because I think Mario Kart World does look really great, fucking better for $80 physically, but it's it's just unfortunate that I feel like Nintendo just really just ruined some of the excitement around that game, because that was the one that everybody was looking at and being like, oh, Mario Kart World, like out of the things that were announced, that and Donkey Kong. Which, speaking of Donkey Kong, I saved this for last, not only because Nintendo presented this last as like their one last thing, which rightfully so. It's the first fucking 3D Donkey Kong games in 64. I personally think this looks more exciting to me than Mario Kart World.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The fact that everything is destructible, you can pick rocks up and just throw it,
It looks like
or even just
Nintendo made a
dig,
Hulk game.
or just even dig. I'm like,
Yeah,
holy crap, this is fun.
it's
I'm
so
like, I'm
like
excited. I was like, when I saw it, I was like, wait, is this the 3D DK game? Like,
yeah,
as soon as I saw it, I was like looking around. I saw bananas. I'm like, wait, 3D DK game? And
yeah,
then I see him, and I'm like, yeah, let's
yeah,
go.
yeah,
He's
buddy.
he's he's not the it's not the design I wanted, but I'll take it.
No.
I don't care.
Oh, Richard,
I
get closer to the mic a little bit.
sorry. I said yeah. I mean, I'm still not a big fan of this DK design,
Mm-hmm.
but but I'll take it still, just
Yeah, for
because
sure.
we haven't had a 3D DK game in years,
Yeah,
many years.
yeah. Since
Holy fuck,
64. That was the last one, right? 64.
26 years.
Phew.
Took 26 damn years. So, I mean, I really hope this isn't the final. This they're not going to stick with. I really hope. Look, if you like
It's the
this
final
design,
design.
awesome, awesome. But I really hope they don't stick with this one forever.
It'd be
Because
funny if they had a skin in the game that made him look like the traditional like Donkey Kong Country looking
I'm
Donkey Kong
I'm sorry, Rare DK is my favorite, just because
or
that's
Rare
the one
DK.
I
Yeah.
grew up. That's the one I grew up with. I
Mm.
just feel like this Rare DK is like it's more he's more mature, and then this one I just feel like
It's
he's
very goofy. Yeah, he's making like all these goofy but I think it's charming despite the redesign. Which I really don't have any strong feelings one way or another about the redesign. I think it's, for me personally, it's just kind of like it is what it is. But I love how expressive he is in this. Like, I love that shot of him when he looks at the banana for the first time and his eyes light up with the banana logo in it, and he's just like, ugh. He has his tongue sticking out when he's running around in the
oh
world and shit.
banana.
Banana. I love that plays every time you get a banana. There's like
Yeah,
banana. And dude, even though David Wise isn't involved, the score that I've heard so far for this game is very good. From the music that played when they were fucking around in the open world on the treehouse, it yeah, it's very good score, very very good score. I'm curious to know who's doing the score, but Nintendo isn't gonna fucking say who it is until the game comes out. But
no, they're not.
I
But
I think
I mean,
the
I'm in shock though that we didn't get a new 3D. We're not getting a 3D Mario game at launch still though. I'm still kind of like I thought that would be
yeah,
like the first thing we would get before we get a new DK game, but I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm okay with this still though. I mean, we're still getting a Mario game at launch, just not the traditional 3D Mario game, just
this is Mario
but
Kart World, yeah.
yeah, it'll still sell well, but
Oh,
I'm
for
like I'm
sure,
like I'm like DK, I'm like, okay, I'm fine with this.
for sure,
A 3D platformer I can enjoy because it's my favorite genre.
yeah.
I feel
But
like 3D platformers are slowly making a comeback. Not
I
like they're probably not gonna they're probably not, it's probably not gonna be as it once was during the golden era, but I feel like they're slightly making a comeback a little
I
bit.
wonder now if this is the team that did Mario Odyssey who are working on Bonanza, who's doing the new 3D Mario? That's what
That's
I
what
want
I
to know. Or if is a 3D Mario even in production right now?
I'm pretty sure it
I'm
is.
sure it is too, but I want to know who's doing it.
they've always stated that they're already. I think they stated a couple of years back that the new 3D Mario is already in development,
Hmm. Okay.
uh, but I guess like I don't know how many years it is away from being off. I give it like maybe 2026. Maybe we'll get a reveal. Maybe I don't know
Yeah.
because there's no way they're holding it off this long.
No.
They cannot hold it off for this long.
It's been it's been almost 8 years since Odyssey, which is wild.
Can't even
It's
believe.
wild. Anyway, that was the Switch 2 blowout. Mix of good and bad. Some very good and some very bad. But the question I want to end our chat with is, do you think the Switch 2 will become another Wii U situation for Nintendo? Because I've seen this be floated around for a few days now that the Switch 2 is like, it's headed for another Wii U situation where it's going to be a big financial fiasco for Nintendo. What do you think?
I mean, it's hard to tell, to be
Sure.
honest,
Like,
because right now because I don't think they've ever released a console like during a really bad situation as it is right now with the world.
not this bad, no.
Not this bad. I mean, but and then I know what is it? The Wii U. The reason why it didn't wasn't selling very well at launch is because they had a poor launch lineup. Like, let's be real. New Super Mario Brothers U, while it was a great game at its core,
Mm-hmm.
it was
It ain't no
it
Mario Kart World.
it no, it's not that, but it just it felt the same compared to the original New Super Mario Brothers because
Mm,
we had New Super Mario Brothers and we had New Super Mario Brothers Wii, and by the time we got to Wii, it's like okay, this is cool, but and then they announced New Super Mario Brothers U, and it's like this looks just the same as it feels the
sure.
same as Wii, despite the and I'm just like I don't think this is enough, unfortunately,
Yeah.
and it really wasn't. And then Pikmin 3 got announced, and I'm like, Pikmin 3, I still don't think this is a marketable franchise
It
to
was too
go
niche to be like a major reversal of fortune for the Wii U. It's too
with. Yeah,
niche.
yes, it was.
And then I
But
know you had Super Mario Land or 3D Land or
thir-
World. What the fuck it's
3D
called?
World came out
3D
3D
World.
World came
There we
out
go.
the year after.
Yeah. But I mean, like
So
within a year of the Wii U's lifespan, I mean, there were a few notable things, but I don't. I think the main problem with the Wii U is just simply that it just caused a lot of confusion as to like what it was.
that too.
That was like a big factor of it. With the Switch too, like I said, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that it's a new iteration of the Switch. It's literally just the Switch 2. It's the Switch again, but better and more expensive. But
Yeah,
but people know what it is. People know what it does. People know the hook, the initial hook. Even if you took away all like the mouse shit and the stupid communication capture, whatever the hell you want to do with the C button, take that stuff away, you'd still have at the end of the day a much like more powerful version of the Switch, which is a draw for a lot of people like myself.
yeah,
But but you're right in that like I wonder though, as pessimistic as I am about people following through on this like boycotting the Switch 2 and whatnot, because I know people are gonna fold eventually. I I want to present this theory to you. I think Nintendo is entering their Jim Ryan era. What do you think of that?
their Jim Ryan era.
Yes, where they still have like creatively behind the scenes, they still have a lot of people that are very talented, but I feel like the business side has fully been taken over by the bean counters who have seen exponential growth under the Switch, and they're like full of arrogance, they're full of this like delusions of grandeur. They're like, oh, we can, like, Nintendo is about to become a global brand where we have our theme parks and our movies, and it's not just enough that it's a video game company. It has to be this Apple like brand where they can charge people out the ass for everything, just nickel and dime people, everything.
Yeah.
I think the Jim Ryan era is coming for Nintendo if it isn't already here. And I think Switch 2, I think these people better get ready for Nintendo to especially if the Switch 2 is going to be like a big success, even with everything that's happening recently and the blowback that they got. I think Nintendo fans are going to have to get ready for an even more like corporate like glaze to come over Nintendo. Like you
Yeah.
you better you better get fucking ready for them to start nickel and dime. Dude, if they're going to start charging you for voice chat and a tutorial for your new console, get ready. That's all I'm going to say. Like get fucking ready for even more egregious shit like that.
No, yeah,
Like,
you're not wrong about with that. Well, I honestly, it's good. I feel like it's probably a good idea to speculate. I'm not sure if we're there yet, just because, well,
we'll
I
know in
don't
a
think
few weeks, I
Nintendo.
bet.
I mean, Nintendo is like sleeping on some dormant franchises like PlayStation, but
Not to the same degree as PlayStation
yeah,
does.
yeah, that's what I mean. I hope they don't get there. I mean, I hope they don't get there
Yeah.
because I mean, there's still some franchises that I would like to see more of. Like,
Sure.
I know people have been demanding for F-Zero to make a comeback. I want
It
more
did.
Star Fox.
Mm-hmm.
I really want more Star Fox. What's another one? Uh, I know people have been wanting a new Golden Sun for years, but Golden Sun 3 did terrible. So I don't know what happened with that. I don't know what's going on with that. People have been demanding for a Chibi Robo for years, and the last one sucked as well. So I don't know. I don't know, to be honest.
I don't know either.
It's hard to tell if this will be another Wii U situation.
Yeah.
I mean it has a good launch lineup. It's just
Yes, it does.
right now with the pricing, the backlash and everything. It's hard to tell right now. So I don't know.
Thanks, Trump.
We'll just have to wait and see. Speaking of Trump
I
and
just found
tariffs,
out that Nintendo are
I think
Japanese and they bombed us
I
during World War II. So they're making the Switch
just
$800.
just a reminder to everybody as well. I mean, despite I know people are saying like this has now become a political topic now, like within video games now, but it's like guys, no matter who you voted for or what your political views are, like I really encourage you guys to just please look past each other's differences and really just always choose your friendship over your guys' views, because at the end of the day, even if like the world ends or something, the only thing your guys are going to have is each other, and your views are not going to matter.
Yeah, I completely agree. Just be kind to one another. Don't start tearing into each other. It's more to life than politics.
Yeah, that's kind of also how I wanted to end it, to be honest,
Okay.
because
Fair enough.
I know tariffs is a
It's
and
a
this
touchy
because
it's definitely a touchy subject for a lot of people, but this is just it's the reality of what's happening. Like it would be completely disingenuous if we did not talk about them in the context of the Switch 2. Like I don't like to talk politics on the channel. I don't like to
no,
talk
neither
politics in
do
my
I.
personal life. My politics are
No,
my business, nobody else's. But this is one of those situations where unfortunately you do have to talk about the political realities because they are unfortunately very intertwined with what's going on with the Switch 2. And again, it would just be completely disingenuous to not talk about it at all, to like plug your ears and pretend that it doesn't exist when it really does. So anyway, Richard, thank you so much for chatting with me. I always
of
appreciate it.
course, of course.
And hope you all have a good one. Oh, go check out Richard's website. I'll post a link in the description box.
Of course,
You have a
thank you.
recent review of Split Fiction, and
It's short and brief, but yeah, it's there.
alrighty. So, all right, thank you to everyone who came by, and have a good one, everyone. Take care.